Hello, today I'm going to talk about the function PRsync from the usethis package. In particular, I would like to use this function to solve the following situation. Imagine that you are a contributor and you have submitted a pull request to a source repository. And then, before the pull request is merged into the source repository, a new commit is added to that repo, and then your pull request is in conflict. What do you do? Okay, let's see what we can do about that. The first thing we are going to do is to actually use the usethis package, and we usually do that with the function library usethis. Then we can use the function create from GitHub, also from the usethis package, which will do a lot of work for us. It will first fork the source repository into, for example, our user account. Then it will create a local copy of that repo in our computer. So I'm doing this from RStudio, and I'm showing at the top the command that I used from the R console. And then below, I paste the text that I could type in a terminal to do a similar action in Git, like in plain Git. As you can see, although you can, of course, do this in Git, it is a lot of typing. So with just one function call, create from GitHub, you can accomplish a lot. So let me break down what create from GitHub takes as arguments. The first and more important argument is a composition of the name of the organization, in this example, an org, slash the name of the repo, in this example, ABC. I'm using the fork equals true argument, but you may not need that. So in showing the alternative with Git, I don't want to spend a lot of time, but I want to just show that it is quite a bit of work that you need to know how to do, and it is very easy to do something wrong. And also, you may want to actually reproduce this using Git. And here is like a template that you can use to then edit and do your own work on Git. So before we continue, we could explore what's the situation, like to get a Git situation report, Git sitrep. So in particular, I want to show you the very end bit of this screen where it shows the GitHub pull requests readiness. So here we see that there is a remote connection called origin pointing to my user account, maurolepore/abc. So that's the repository on my fork. And then under it, there is another connection called upstream that is pointing to the source repository. In this example, an org/abc. So the first thing we would do to initiate a pull request is to run the function PRinit. With this, we get a lot of work for free. Usethis is doing a lot of things under the hoods, and it's also letting us know that once we finish our work, we can use the function PRpush to create the pull request on GitHub. So, in this particular example, I'm going to say add a new line in line number 3 of the file readme.md with the string a repo for demo. Then I create a commit, and then I run the function PRpush, which again does a lot of work for us, and including sending us to a web browser pointing to this particular address where we can see something like this, where we can compare or we can observe where the commit that we have just pushed here living in the branch PR from the repository ABC in the organization, in this case in the owner Mauro Lepore, how that commit is proposed to be merged into the master branch of the repository with the same name under the organization and org. So that is the upstream or main or source repository. So we're ready to go. We can press the green button to create the pull request. But now the situation that I present. So let's suppose that we do create the pull request and the maintainer adds a commit before merging this pull request, and that commit, let's say that it has a conflict. In particular, it has a conflict on the README file that we have just edited. So how do we go about that? Okay, locally we can run as contributors, we can run the function PRsync, and that will do a bunch of work as well. Basically, it's going to bring the changes from the upstream remote and try to merge them with the repository that we have locally. But in this particular case, that fails. It throws an error saying that there is a merge conflict. Please resolve before continuing. And automatically it pops up this file readme.md where the conflict lives. So we are then able to kind of see the situation and choose how to solve this problem. So in this case, I chose to rewrite the line 3 with a string a repository for demonstration. And that solves the conflict. Basically, there was one commit made by me, the contributor, that's why I wrote a C here. Then there was another commit on the same line by the maintainer, that's why there is an M here. And then this particular commit is solving the conflict. That's something that I do. Again, that's why I wrote the C. So, we are ready to go. We now push that commit that solves the conflict back to our fork. We can do that with the function prpush. So now that pull request that, remember, was in a conflict no longer has a conflict and can be merged. There is no more conflict with the base branch. In particular, for example, a maintainer may choose to not only do a simple merge but do a squash merge, which is something that I like, to basically summarize the whole history of those messy commits that try to fix the problem in just one nice clean commit. With that, we as contributors and also the maintainers are kind of done with this pull request, so we can just run the function prfinish, which will kind of close all the wiring that was created to work with this pull request and send us back to the master branch for our next pull request, for example. So with that, I covered everything I wanted to talk about today. So thank you very much. See you next time.